Episode 5 begins with Minmay asking if her family wants to reopen their restaurant. As it turns out, food is rationed. But they go along with it anyway, because Minmay has that kind of face, apparently. Uh, Minmay goes full formal Chinese gown to sort of begin in the promotion of the restaurant's reopening. The mayor walks by and is shocked that they're going ahead with it, but soldiers happen to drive by as they're opening it up, and they are um the first customers of the new era. Apparently, the soldiers have been talking. Thanks, Fokker, for that. And she's now a celebrity on the ship for being stuck for 2 weeks. There's no way this can come back to bite her. The soldiers start being perverts and asking if he did anything with Hotshot while they were stuck. And rather than the typical thing of, oh, let's play this for laughs, he's George, he doesn't know anything. He actually goes red faced. Makes a difference to what anime normally does. She kind of fobs them off and um basically Hotshot gets friend zoned really harshly. Like she just goes, "No, he's just a friend." And she said that as he was coming down the stairs, because he was recovering up it above the shop. Yikes, dude! Yikes! Meanwhile, in the engineering section of the ship, tech speak featuring Captain and the engineer. But simply, they've lost guns because the guns were being powered through the bolt system that went missing after they teleported the island in space. But they can transform the guns to get the no, they can transform the ship to get the guns back, which means putting the space city at risk. So that's the conflict of the episode. The the moral conflict of the episode, let's say that much. Do they risk the um do they risk the space city to save everyone aboard? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Hotshot goes for a walk and ignores Min-Mei entirely, which, you know what, fair enough. What the fuck? And goes to mope with his plane. Again, absolutely fair. But suddenly, Fokker appears and takes him off to show him the Valkyrie space fighters taking off because Fokker wants him to join the military. Hotshot doesn't answer and instead asks Fokker, his senpai, if girls can change overnight. Answer, yes, absolutely. Don't trust women. Take it from me. Don't trust women. They're fucking weird. Oh god. Fokker laughs at him. And that's another yikes moment for me. Because, oh boy, he was in the middle of because Hotshot was in the middle of worrying about Min-Mei not loving, or at least not being interested in him, and just trying to survive, I guess. Hotshot denies being in love, but Fokker explains that Min-Mei was the one who was worried and asked for Fokker to go find him, which is actually really kind. Suddenly, update from the aliens, who watch back some footage of the attack from one of their ships. They make mention of the humans being called my clones, which is curious since this is the first time in the series that the aliens have mentioned humans in a different name, or even saw humans, let's be honest, because they don't hear. They don't. They haven't tried to focus on them yet. And rather than going down and taking on Earth, which they know is a primitive planet at this point, they avoid it entirely. Which is a complete and utter swerve from how we normally see this kind of thing go down. Because normally it's like, oh, these are primitive beings on this planet. Invasion time. But no, they decide to just go after the ship. Because that's the bigger threat. Which is actually kind of smart. But I do have to ask what the fuck's going on. they've met humans before, they at least know what humans are. They might not know them as humans, but they know what they are. And it's a mystery that clearly we're going to find out later in the series. Probably. Then there's the typical break. And suddenly Hotshot's outside Min May's bedroom. Trying to figure out what he's going to say when she invites him in. Problem is, she wasn't even inside at the time. She was downstairs in the restaurant. But she invites him in anyway. Only it's a break time or something. They have a bit of a discussion talking about everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks. And we finally see what the thing not Mume, Min May went back, wanted to go back to the shop for. After 2 weeks, we finally get to see what the thing was. And it's a letter for a singing audition. So this is where the idol part of this anime begins, apparently. Oh boy. After all, that was her dream. Well, one of her dreams to sing. The other being getting married. Anyway, Hotshot had a dream as well, his plane. Speaking of, back on the bridge, the aliens are within range, so battle stations are taking off. No, battle stations are happening. And suddenly Min May has decided to take Hotshot for a walk. And asks him straight up why he's always talking about Fokker, since Hotshot is a good pilot too. And then suddenly a battle scene happens. Finally, an actual battle scene. Sort of. Mostly it's just the fighters flying around, explosions everywhere. Not much going on in terms of character stuff. It doesn't focus on the plight of Fokker. Aliens are questioning what the humans are up to because they're not using the guns, and it decides to go as far as we want them hurt but not destroyed. Actually, again, pretty smart because they don't know how much the humans know. So they get gaining intelligence with all these skirmishes. It's smart military tactics. Something that most anime don't seem to go through. Holy shit. They know their shit in this anime. With no other choice, the captain calls for the transformation. Meanwhile, Min May wants Hotshot to follow his dreams through the military. And Hotshot says that he wants the city to be destroyed. That in his anger he wants nothing to do with Min May or the aliens. Go back to Earth. Or get sucked off into space. I mean, sucked into space. Same difference in this case. And they start having an argument. It's really awkward. Thankfully, it doesn't last long because it gets stopped by the transformation of the entire ship, which destroys the work of countless people set up the city in the ship because holy shit, the city gets absolutely destroyed. Also, Min May nearly dies by falling into what is essentially an earthquake situation. Hole opens up underneath them. He falls in. Hotshot saves her. Quick POV from Boca. Because the Macross is now a mech. They literally transformed it into a mech in space. And fires off the main gun, which obliterates the aliens. It is quite a sight. But the gun isn't like in the chest, like most media would have it. It's sort of on the shoulders, in the way that the gun was before the gun was before it transformed, which does give it some sort of consistency. Hey, it's better than my idea, which would have been to make it the dick. But anyway, aliens are destroyed, the city's destroyed too, just as Hotshot asked. He realizes the error of his ways, and he vows to join the military. Oh, that's the episode. The quickest episode ever. Thank fuck. Yeah. Not much else to say. Tomorrow we begin the training arc, I guess. See you then.